Hi, this is Outlaw Pete with a review on the first free Iron Studios 110 X-Men line. George, hit my music. Okay, so the first one that came in was Mystique. I like the fact that it's showing one of her powers, i.e. she's got Sabretooth's arm there. One thing, if you don't own these, they don't have magnets in the little pieces like the arms. They are quite fragile the way that they sort of key in. They're not sort of solid in the way that they key in. You can see there's movement here in terms of the way it moves around. And it does sort of tend to just sort of sit there, but you know, it's going to be in the display. You're not going to be moving it very often, but you do need to bear that in mind if you're moving these things around. Very, very dark skin tone, much taller than the side, much darker than the sideshow version. But again, great detail for such a small piece. Excellent face sculpt, nice red hair, great claws on Sabretooth's hand there. Very large chest, I have to say, on this in comparison to some of the other pieces. And look at the detail on the gun. Very, very cool. This is sort of a rubber belt that sort of moves around, but again, great detail there. Plasticky dress. High heel boots. And the base is one of what I believe are going to be two different types of bases which come with these proximity pieces. This is one from the destroyed X-Mansion. When we look at cable in a moment, we'll see that that's actually outside, which I think, if I'm right, the cable one goes with the Sentinel number 3, whereas Mystique and Professor X, who we're going to have a look at in a second, go with either Sentinel 1 or Sentinel 2. But again, you know, great detail on this base. Carpet with lumps in it, smashed up floorboards and furniture, books, some rebar down here. Excellent level of detail. And I'll be honest, of the three that I've got, cable is a much more detailed piece than the first two that came out. So, you know, and looking at the pictures we've seen of the other ones, they are much more detailed as well. Okay, so let's carefully place her over here and bring in Professor X. Pretty heavy Professor X. It's a big heavy base, this one, for considering it's a 110. And again, here we go. So let's just, I think the option on this one, you can, it does come with a different head where it hasn't got Cerebro, but to be honest, I don't know why you would display it without that. For me, it's far better with it. Someone mentioned on Facebook that the scale's wrong for this. It's not, it's just because he's sat down. You know, again, there's his X button there. Details on his fingers and his fingernails, and you can see even if his jacket's got sort of a little sort of fleck detail to it. So he's sat in his floating wheelchair, and that's done. It just sort of keys in down here, but obviously when you look at it from the front, it looks like he's floating. Again, this isn't This is probably my least favourite of all of the ones I've got and the pieces that I've got on order to come. But then it is Professor X. What can you really do with him other than put him in a wheelchair and have him stick his hands out? Again, excellent base. Look at the carpet. All the detail on that. All lumpy because obviously the place is getting ripped apart. These little chess pieces, I didn't even realise I had them until I saw another review on this. I had to go back up into the loft, open the box and make sure that they were there in order to add them to it, because they come in such a small bag, it's very easy to miss. And then there's a table on its side, that's keyed in, and these pieces are loose. But again, look at that wood effect here. I mean, it really genuinely looks like that wood's all been ripped to pieces. Even you've got scratches on the table, a drawer in the table there, broken table leg. Now the detail is brilliant. So let's bring in what I consider to be the best one so far, which is cable. Okay, for me, a different level of detail on this to the other ones. Absolutely amazing. Really, really happy with this piece. Look at all the different colours, the different texturing. Check out that face sculpt. I don't know if these are like grenades on his arm, on his shoulder pads here, but again, you know, 4 different colours just there alone. And the detail is brilliant. Extra ammo wrapped around his arm. Green padding underneath with shading on it. The detail for a 110 figure is just astonishing, really. I mean, they really are hitting it out of the park with this front line. I can't wait for the other ones to come in. Whopping great gun, which just keys in at the back here. Great magnet there. When I opened the box, this gun fell off. It has got a key, but not a magnetised key, so it was clearly supposed to be stuck on. I just glued it back in, and you can't, you know, there was no damage or anything. It's just the glue didn't work properly. Again, look at all these different colours, texture. Absolutely phenomenal. The belt, the pouches. Different textures on his trousers, the gun. And then we come around and we see his metal arm. And his other enormous gun. I don't think you could really ask for more in such a small statue. He's even got sort of a 5 o'clock shadow there. So this hand is holding a hunting knife. And then we come down and we've got his knee pads to match the sort of colour scheme. Again, these 110 sketches, they don't key in as well as the quarter scales, but then why would you want them? You know, like I say, you're not going to be moving them around all of the time. There's probably a little paint chip there, but I hadn't noticed before. And this is the base, so this is the one that I think goes with Sentinel number 3 because it's outside. And I love that smoke, that Deadpool smoke grenade. I think that looks absolutely amazing. Some smoke coming out there. You know, this is all resin. Looks fantastic. But even the outside here, you've got moss in between the paving slabs, cracks where it's obviously all coming to pieces. Dirt on his shoes. Little X logo on the sole of his shoes. So those are the 3 of them up to this point. Which one's going to be next? Which ones do you prefer, guys? What do you think? Let us know in the comments.